Welcome. I am so glad that you are here tonight for this monologue showcase that is being hosted by the International Women's Writing Guild. This is part of my most recent 6-week play lab of new writers, new monologues. They're not new writers necessarily, but they are writing new works for the stage. And this is our very first public reading of the writing that was done in the play lab. My name is Kelly DuMar, and I am the director, and I have put together the 6 weeks that have brought the writers who are going to show you their plays tonight from nothing to what you see tonight. And the exciting part is that we have the opportunity to have a stage experience for you as if you are in a live theater. And I have an amazing troupe of volunteer actors who volunteer virtually their time to come in and support the writers to bring their monologues to life on stage. And that's what you are going to see tonight with me. And I'm very proud of the 7 writers who have worked on their monologues. Some of them have written for the stage before, maybe in a previous monologue workshop. Most of them have not written for the stage before. All of them are writers, but they're really brand new to this particular genre and this particular kind of experience. So for some of our writers tonight, they're having what we call the first staged reading of their writing. And this is kind of really thrilling to see an actor perform their work for the very first time. You as the audience are a very important part of our experience tonight. We will be keeping the chat room open momentarily, but then we're going to close it during the show. But once we're done with the show and you've seen the 7 monologues, we'll be opening the chat room back up, and you are free to give all the comments, what you liked, what you appreciated, saying hello to the people that you came to see tonight. You're feel free to do that in the chat room. I want to thank my daughter, Franci DuMar, who is also one of our actors, who's running the tech for me tonight. And I want to make a special welcome. It's a little bit risky, but I hope you will agree with me that having Shannon Kenny here performing tonight from Durban, South Africa is worth the risk, because she's coming a very long distance to present a poem as an opening, but she's also coming to act one of the plays in our monologue showcase tonight. She has been in our play labs, and we really love working with her. She actually had a power outage that was spontaneously happened about a half an hour ago or earlier today. So we rehearsed just recently by candlelight. But, I know you're going to agree with me that it's worth the tech risk to have Shannon's voice coming to us from South Africa tonight. She's up in the middle of the night, so it's kind of thrilling. I also want to welcome a new actor to our troupe, Elly Berke, and you'll be seeing her for the first time in one of our showcases along with Phyllis Rittner and my daughter, Franci DuMar. We've got a wonderful lineup of actors tonight. Now, I want to also mention, and we're going to get started very momentarily, but I want to let you know, because some of you have been here before, and I really appreciate your coming again and again. These writers have worked hard. They've generated multiple drafts to shape and craft their personal experiences, their memoir often, into monologues for the stage. They've given and received and grown from the process of feedback. They've risen to the challenging task of creating theatrical monologues for the stage. Now, this is not live storytelling as in The Moth, or it's not true stories told live without notes. These are theatrical pieces that involve collaboration with other theater artists, the actors, including the actors who will bring to life these monologues. Now, I want to talk for just one more minute about why you are here. Your presence here is helping everybody rise to the occasion and create an experience. And this gives really necessary feedback to the writers. They can see what's working. They can still see, before they finalized, where they want to continue to just sort of tweak their script. So this is giving them an opportunity to have that sort of heightened experience that can happen in a staged reading. Stella Adler called theater the seeing place, the place we come to see the truth about our lives and social situation. Welcome to the seeing place. We will all be seeing the same show, the same monologues performed, but we will all see things, we'll see different things about our own lives. So I ask you to consider these 3 questions to sort of take you through your own experience of watching the monologues tonight. What do I see that resonates most for me? What do I look away from, don't want to see, or don't feel ready to see? Why? And what do I see that I need to see and want, in fact, to see more of? Those are 3 questions you might consider, and even consider perhaps putting your comments into the chat room when we're done. What you see. We are not going to be letting people in during a monologue performance, but in between, and none of them are over 5 minutes. Some of them are shorter. So someone may have to wait in the waiting room, and then we will let them in for the next monologue. I think you should all be able to see the lineup in the chat room of the shows that we're doing. One of the fun things I like to do on the afternoon of the showcase is I sort of like to put together a kind of a list poem of one-liners from each of the monologues, because these shows in theory aren't really connected, but there are a lot of connections you may make. So I like to take one line from each and give you a little bit of a foretaste of what's to come. I'm not hiding anything. It's just a dumb birthday party. She invited me, and it would be bad manners not to go. What else would it be? Me, I may not be Princess Charming, but at least I have integrity. I've always been easily led by you and easily destroyed by you. Your eyes and the sound of your voice held me captive. How do I look? What do I do now that I will actually have a lifespan? Nope, we don't have to ask permission, just follow me. I would love to roll backwards out of us. I had to choose. And now I would like to introduce this opening poem that Shannon Kenny did not write for our monologue showcase, but I invited her to read it because it's so beautiful and gorgeous as an opening, and it's called Vocation by Shannon Kenny, performed by Shannon Kenny. Let's watch.
Vocation for all artists. There are stories to be told, not merely for the sake of telling stories, but for remembrance. There are stories to be told, not merely for the sake of telling stories, but for lamentation. There are stories to be told, not merely for the sake of telling stories, but for exhortation. There are stories to be told, not merely for the sake of telling stories, but for the marking of histories that would otherwise not be recounted if our spoken words did not rise from our bellies and dance of our tongues, and from our lips dripping blood and fire, that would otherwise not be written to rattle and gut punch and soothe, that would otherwise not be incarnated in oil and stone and sand and transported to distant lands of the conscious, sculpted and hewn with and through the leaps and arches of our very bodies as we momentarily defy gravity. As we dance to remember, as we dance to give voice, as we dance to give light and flight to our sorrow and joy, as we dance to implore the us to never forget, to weep in unison, to challenge and celebrate, to never, never cease to tell our stories.
And this is The Invitation by Pam Spence, performed by Franci DuMar.
Traveler with 2 L's. Oh, what a great name for a horse. General Robert E. Lee himself said, Traveler was so ready for the fight, he would start prancing in anticipation the moment my foot was in the stirrup. I can see why General Lee renamed him. His former owner called him Greenbrier. Yeah, that's a really lame name for a war horse. And he stood 16 hands high. Wow, what a great horse. What? What do you want? You want to borrow my orange scarf? Are you kidding? No way. I don't think so. I just got it. I'm trying to write a report on Traveler. It's due tomorrow. He was General Robert E. Lee's favorite horse. Well, of course I've recorded his name in a notebook, a horse's name. Traveler is number 395. He's famous. Come here. Look at this picture. Isn't he so handsome? See that? Traveler was dapple gray. Oh, a dapple gray with black stockings and a black mane and tail. Oh, my absolute favorite for a horse. If I ever had a horse, he's definitely gonna be dapple gray. I am not dumb, and you don't know, maybe I will have a horse someday. What's what? Hey, give it back. It's just an invitation for a birthday party on Saturday. From that girl, you know, Margie, red hair, freckles, mouthy. You have some classes with her brother. Well, they live on the farm on the other side of Marshall. It's kind of a long drive. Mothers probably won't drive me that far. It's not like when we lived in Long Island. All we had to do was jump on our bikes and ride to somebody's house. Can't do that now. Everything's so far away. I wonder if Daddy will take me. Well, why wouldn't I go? Something to do instead of hanging around here all day. We haven't been to anyone's house since we moved. She said she was going to have a birthday party and wanted me to come. She told me I had to come. Why? Because she's bossy, that's why. She tells everyone what to do. Why are you looking at me like that? I didn't say I hated her. I just said I can't stand her. It's not the same thing. Well, no, I'm not hiding anything. It's just a dumb birthday party. She invited me, and it would be bad manners not to go. Why else could it be? No, ew, are you kidding? No, I don't have a crush on her brother. He's even more obnoxious than she is. No, there aren't any other reasons. And if there were, I would not be telling you anyway. And you wouldn't guess in a million years. Okay, so what? So what she has a horse? It's not like a big deal or anything. Will you ask Daddy to drive me, please? He always says yes to you, please. Okay, I'll let you wear my orange scarf. I can see Daddy in the driveway. Hurry!
And that was The Invitation by Pam Spence, performed by Franci DuMar. Now we have Unstable Connection by Autumn Stevens, performed by Elly Berke.
Are you sure, Sophie? Oh, crap. Not again. Ah, damn it. Oh, okay. I'm unmuted now. What I said was, are you sure you're channeling my mom? Sorry. That was rude. Just nervous, I guess. You're my first medium. Of course I'm not scared of people on the other side. The older I get, the more of them I know. But I am scared you're trying to scam me. Sorry. Just kidding. God, I miss her. We had our issues. She never got me. Not the way she got my perfect sister, anyway. Those two were like... But still, she was my mom. Well, go on. Talk to her. Since apparently I can't. How's she doing up there? Over there, out there? Really? The afterlife is cool? Not once have I ever heard Mom say cool, unless she was talking about the weather or gazpacho. She was Ivy League, a Cliffy. Proper English. Oh, no, I understand you all right, Sophie. Your English is fine for a foreigner, if you are in fact a foreigner, not just faking that mysterious accent. Now, come on. Ask if she has a message for me. She does? I am rude? That's the message? You're just making that up. Oh, no? Well, prove it then. Yes, she's average size for an American. Yeah, glasses. Yes. Big wrinkle in the middle of her forehead. God, maybe it is Mom. Well, go on, ask her, okay? You're a psychic, right? So you already know what I want to know. Wait. My screen says unstable connection. Yes, I can hear you now. Something's coming through about Bunny. Well, of course. It's always about Bunny. No, not a pet. No, Mom's pet for sure. That girl was born knowing how to suck up. The nicey nice smile, the kiss-ass gifts, pink peonies fresh from her garden, cutesy just because I love you cards, and the bullshit. Oh, Mom, you always know how to make me feel better. Oh, Mom, that's brilliant. Oh, Mom, you must have been reading my mind. Makes me sick. Me? I may not be Princess Charming, but at least I have integrity. Call it exactly like I see it. Maybe you've noticed. The thing is, the day Mom passed, she appeared to Bunny, or so Bunny says, right there in the breakfast nook, while Bunny was stirring Metamucil into her OJ. Thank you, honey, for being the best daughter I could imagine, Mom said. You've been the light of my life. And then, supposedly, Mom kissed the top of her head and disappeared. Not a word about me. So, Sophie, can you please ask Mom? Does she love me too? Sophie? Sophie, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mom? Damn it. Why isn't this working? Did I freeze or did you?
And that was Elly Berke in Autumn Stevens' Unstable Connection. Now we have If Only by Jeanne Vargas, performed by Phyllis Rittner.
John, I was surprised to hear from you. Last time I saw you was September 1985, 30-some years ago. Oh, yes, the flowers and chocolate-covered strawberries you sent for my birthday were quite a surprise. I'm sorry to hear about your wife's health. You look really great. The years have been good to you. I'm actually kind of flabbergasted that you want to reconnect after all these years. I mean, I wasn't expecting to hear from you, but you were always full of big ideas and lots of surprises. And you always had kind of an underhanded habit of slipping out of your commitments. Well, you're the same man who asked me to walk out of a home I was buying, a place I'd scraped $5,000 for a down payment on. Well, I lost the down payment and the split-level home I would have paid for by now. And you're the same guy that asked me to walk away from my home because you felt uncomfortable because I lived there with another man. Well, how can I forget? You sent me to Iowa to pick up my 2 youngest children, bring them back to spend a month with us that summer in Chicago before we were to move to San Antonio. Oh, and then called me at my mother's after I'd picked up the children to say, "You're deserting me in Chicago without any money." Oh, then you show up 6 weeks later and tell me you can't live without me, that it's no longer necessary for us to be married. Asked me to give you a divorce, and we were divorced in 4 days. Well, the truth was, it was your mother's idea to divorce me so you could remarry your first wife because I couldn't have more children. Right? And after we divorced, like a fool, I packed up everything, helped you load a U-Haul, and we drove to Alabama because you had a teaching contract at U of Alabama, not San Antonio. And you had to show up with your wife because the chairman of the department got wind you deserted me in Illinois. Told you to show up with your wife or no teaching contract. Well, you dragged me in front of the head of the department, signed the contract, and I'm shaking hands with the department chairman. You hand me the car keys and a credit card, tell me to go entertain myself, that you'd be back to meet me at the apartment at the end of the day. Well, I was on cloud 9. But when I got to the apartment that night, you were waiting for me with money in one hand and a second set of car keys in the other hand. And you asked me what I wanted. The money and the car keys, or did I want you to rent me a U-Haul? And whatever I decided, I had to leave that night. That's all there was to it. Well, you know, I've been thinking about everything. And while I'm glad you showed up after all these years and we've cleared the air, the truth is everything that's happened can't be erased from my memory. You know, John, if you said to me in the 1980s, "Ginny, I need a green card and this is how you can help me," I probably would have done everything I did, but would have known it was an arrangement. that I wasn't a forever wife. I wouldn't have had to suffer it if we'd done it that way. I've always been easily led by you and easily destroyed by you. Your eyes, sound of your voice, it all held me captive. But I've been a ghost to you. And there is just no room for you in my life today.
That was Phyllis Rittner in If Only by Jeanne Vargas. Now we have Morgan Turns 30 by Shelly Grabel, performed by Elly Berke.
Oh my God, it's my birthday. 30. How the freak did that happen? Is my hair too frizzy? Can you hand me my pick? Thanks. I don't know how to even live past 30. It was supposed to be my expiration date. You ready for the bar? The Saints will be overflowing tonight. Here, take this scarf. Yeah, that's it. Not butch, not femme. Perfect. Justine, Marlene, and Suzanne will be ready soon. It's definitely a black and white night. What? Oh, why was I so sure I'd die before today? Easy. I was born the day they dropped Fat Man on Hiroshima. Yeah, it's true. I must have blown up my drunken mother's life that day. Everything blew up that day. My dad ran out the door and never came back. It was awful and stupidly tragic, like a bad movie. How many times did you move when you were a kid? You are still a kid to me. 3 times. That's it? I bet you had both parents and a princess room. Me and Mom moved every 4 months. Motel rooms, boarding houses, one apartment for a whole year. I kept thinking it was all my fault. Dad leaving, Mom drinking and whoring, the atom bomb, the poison air. That's when I calculated my death date. Tonight is going to be epic. Party at the bar and an all-nighter at our house. Oh, everyone's a little nervous about what I might do. Yes, they do think I am a witch, a beautiful, wild witch. Do you see how they put their arms more tightly around their girlfriends when I walk by? Don't blame them. That's how I got all of you. Think they think I'll add them to my collection. Hee. We'll just have to give them a performance tonight, won't we? I am a damn silver screen. They project what they want to. Mother, whore, saint, sister, lover, witch. I gotta disappoint somebody. You are the only one who really sees me. And you're adorable. Oh, I should really stop drinking. I have no plan for living past today, except that Justine will be Sarah Becca's guardian. At least she won't stay with her dad forever. I'm always afraid that she won't want to come back from her visits with him. Last time, she couldn't stop talking about his penis. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Yeah, I know you won't be around forever. That's okay, little blue shells. Between 20 and 30, a lot of crap goes on. In my case, chaos follows me everywhere. Or more likely, I am the chaos. Okay, how do I look? What do I do now that I will actually have a lifespan? Let's just hope no one drops a bomb today. I'm tired of being blamed for bombs and toxic air. What's that? No, I did not know that the atom bomb keeps you awake at night. Still keeps you awake? Oh, since you were 5. 6? Oh, we have more in common than I knew. Yeah, okay, I'm ready for this. That's why I need you. Whew, calm, focus, and besides, you tell me the truth. You were quite the find. Oh my God, I'm turning 30. Oh my God. I hope Cat Stevens never stops singing Morning Has Broken. It would break me. All right, get ready to make our entrance. Our little family has a reputation to keep up. Are you running lights tonight? Great. Remember, spotlight on Justine right after I exit the stage. The cue is, welcome, ladies, to our premiere performance of the Lesbian Science Fiction Liberation Theater. Then boom.
That was Elly Berke in Morgan Turns 30 by Shelly Grabel. Now we have Transformation at Taylor's Creek by Claire McCabe, performed by Franci DuMar.
Hey there! I was hoping a new family would have someone my age. I'm Taylor, and I'm 10. What's your name? Oh, wow, you're the first Kendall I've ever met. It's a nice name. Really? Oh, you seem older, closer to my age. Of course we can still be friends. Hey, want me to show you around the neighborhood? It's a pretty nice place. Right here is the storm drain. It looks like it disappears under the road, but actually it goes somewhere. The drain empties into a creek and you can find all sorts of things. Want to see? No, we don't have to ask permission. Just follow me. Okay, first I'm gonna squeeze my legs through and then just make myself kind of small and shimmy my hips and, yeah, now my elbows and shoulders and then, I dropped a few inches. You try. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yep, you did it. Oh, right, sorry. I forgot to tell you there's a little water down here, but your tennis shoes will dry out quickly. But maybe we should have worn sweatshirts. It is a good place to hide out when it's really on a hot day. Okay, now look at the opening we came through. See those round cotton ball thingies about the size of an eraser? Yeah, those are spider egg cases. Ow! Ow! Stop screaming! Don't be scared, Kendall. Ugh, they won't hurt you. I've never seen spiders come out in any case. Okay, all right. We don't have to stay here. Come on. All we have to do is just kind of crouch down to get through the rest of the pipe. It's not far. See, there's a light at the end. Hey, I'm going to call your name. Kendall! Hey, hear the sound stretch out? That's what this place can do to your voice. Okay, we're almost at the end of the pipe and the beginning of the creek. Okay, watch your step. It's just gonna get a little slippery, but it's fine. I'll go first. Stretch my foot out and just step onto the big flat rock. Okay, yep, foot out. Okay, on the rock. Okay, hand me your hand. And we're here. Doesn't the sun feel wonderful? And the smell of the clover on the creek? Now look at that water. Yeah, you see those things that look like little fish? Look closer. No, please don't scream again. They're not monster fish with legs. They're tadpoles. They're supposed to have those little legs. You've never heard of a tadpole? They're like baby frogs. They're like fish, but then they grow legs at the same time that their tail shrinks. Kind of like a part of them turns inside out. No, I am not lying. Hey, let's find one that has both its front and back legs started. You'll see that they're not monsters at all. Okay. Here you go. Okay, it's just a tiny little frog with a tail. Do you want to hold it? Okay. I just love this creek. And that willow tree over there. Its long branches remind me of my teacher's shaggy hair. Oh, Kendall, that is a good name for a tree. Aunt Shagatha.
That was Franci DuMar in Claire McCabe's Transformation at Taylor's Creek. And now we have Mapping Home by Sharon B., performed by Shannon Kenny.
No, no hug. Sit and keep your distance. Have you signed the divorce papers? Why not? Don't talk. Don't answer. I really don't care. Ha, yes, I have no doubt you heard me coming. Yep, it's my brother's 66 Citroen. Nothing subtle about that engine. You always did envy Mark's car. Well, tough luck, Chuck. It's mine now. I know. You put that car back together after his accident. Stop saying you're sorry that we lost him. We didn't lose him, damn it. He died in that car. Why the fuck can't people say the word died? Yes, I'm late. So your issue with me is punctuality. Hey, I got here without a map. Thought I could get here by memory, got lost at the unmarked turns around the bluffs. Well, we all know how dangerous they can be. And Mark had sure as hell had no map. Lost soul. Your cigarettes are cheap. Still cheap, just like your women. You are consistent, though. No tea. No booze. Forgot I was coming. Or didn't give a shit that I was coming. You give up the drink or you're just hiding the signs. You haven't signed the divorce papers. Can't bear to set me free. Can't bear to watch me not travel your road, not follow your map. You are not responsible for Mark's accident, and neither am I. So let us all go. Instant coffee. Instant, really. You never could go the distance of a French press, could you? Cafetière. Sorry. I'll try to keep the hits above the belt. And I have a new map, you know. In here. Dissolution of this marriage. First stop, for us together, the distance was too rough to travel. Sign them and set us both free. Thank you. How will I find my way home? You're being funny. Find my way home. You were my home. When I walked into us, you became my home. I would love to roll backwards out of us. Like we never were, but I can't. Which really sucks because I can't get that bastard of a car into reverse. So it's forward gear and no looking back.
That was Shannon Kenny performing Mapping Home by Sharon B. Our final monologue for the night, I Won't Kill Your Spirit, 3 Soliloquies by Laura Secord, will be performed by Elly Berke, Phyllis Rittner, and Franci DuMar.
She won't make my hair like Pippi Longstockings for school tomorrow. I hate these dumb uniforms. She won't make it better. It's just boring like everyone else's. She wants to kill my spirit.
She has so much spirit. Oh my gosh. This photo. My mom, a girl, my daughter's age, with the same face as hers right now. Glaring, arms crossed, side eye, pout. My mom, trying to stand up to her mother, who wanted to make her a star like Shirley Temple.
I pleased and pleased them. Never stubborn, defiant, rebellious. I didn't want attention, not makeup and sequins. I wanted to run, hide in a field, lay back and watch the leaves. But I did as they said, changed clothes, went to model at Marshall Field's tea room, gave up playing after school. Then my daughter wanted to be a model like me. Made her practice, learn the walk, balance a book on her head, walk across the room over and over.
At my modeling graduation, I fell off the stage. Felt ugly in that old lady muumuu. My mother insisted I wear this. I can't kill my daughter that way.
All I want to do is look like Pippi. Red braids sticking out of the air. Pippi is free and strong, always ready for fun, adventures, makes her own outfits, doesn't care, is free, wears striped stockings. Mother won't buy them for me. Says I'll look ridiculous. She's so mean.
Like my girl. My mom saw a big spirit in me, all fun. Together she said, "You're so smart, such imagination. Let's make a picnic to the Peter Pan tree. You make every day so happy." Then she confused my spirit. Let the family berate me. "Stop being so loud. You're too emotional. You're fat and messy. You're sassy, disrespectful."
Oh, they called me a bad mother, said I spoiled her, gave her too much attention, should learn to keep her in line.
We were visiting Chicago. I was 11, getting tiny boobs and a round stomach. Mother brought me grandmother underwear. Huge bras and girdles.
Wear these, I said. They're made for fat girls.
No.
I made her wear them. Nothing else would fit.
Ugly, stinky, rubbery. Ugh.
Begged her, please do this for me. I had to choose. She didn't want to. My folks insisted. Everybody cried and screamed. I pleased them, chose to sound mean, betrayed my baby, shamed my girl. I just tried not to see.
Piles of bra wrinkles under my white sailor top. Did my mother really believe in me? We played Peter Pan. I'll never grow up, I got a crow. All her singing off key. She was the most fun mom, the saddest mom. All her pleasing hurt me.
Pippi's mother died. She was a baby.
Pippi Longstocking braids for school? Striped stockings too? What if I feed that spirit? Set it free.
That was I Won't Kill Your Spirit, 3 soliloquies by Laura Secord, performed by Elly, Berke, Phyllis, Rittner, and Franci DuMar. And now I would love to ask Franci and Shannon and Phyllis and Elly to turn on their video so that we can sort of pretend to applaud and they can take a well-deserved bow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The chat room is open. And so please feel free to put any comments you have, anything you were thinking about, anything you appreciated in the chat room. And now I want to invite the writers to please all turn their cameras on so we can give them a round of applause. Pam and Autumn and Shelly and Jeanne and Claire and Sharon and Laura.
Yay!
Yay! Is everybody able to turn their, hopefully we've got everybody here. If you're having any trouble turning yourself on, if you're one of the writers, please feel free to let us know. Pam, Spence, you're having trouble? Asked to start video. There we go. Is that what you needed? Should be, okay, good. Anybody else have it? Great, welcome. Pam, welcome.
My video
else
is not
need help?
working. Yeah, mine's not working either.
Okay, whose
Claire.
voice is that?
Claire.
Is it
Claire.
Claire, okay. Franny, I'll see you, Claire. Should be able to see you.
I get a message. It says the host has stopped the video. It says unable to start because the host has stopped it. Okay, now I can do it.
Great.
Here I am.
All right. You are
Hi.
there. Anybody else having any trouble? Great. Sharon, you're here. Excellent. Maybe Jeanne Vargas left.
No, I'm not.
And
Oh, she's here. She's here. Yeah.
where is
I'm not
she?
here, but I can't.
I don't see her. Jeanne is talking, but she also needs help with her video. So Franny, can you see Jeanne Vargas? Jeanne Vargas. I'm going to check in. There we are. I'm going to ask you to start your video, Jeanne. So you should be able to. There you go. Okay, good. Hopefully we have everybody here. If you can't, unmute and tell us that you're having a problem. Oh my goodness. I am so grateful to each and every one of you. Amazing performances, amazing writing. What I like to do, audience, with this piece of it is I want to check in with each of the writers and the actors, get a quick response. And if you have a question that you want to ask anybody, please feel free to put it in the chat room, and I will get to that as soon as we can. But what I want to do first is ask, let's see, one of the writers to say what it was like to see your play. Pam, let me check in with you first. Can you unmute and tell us? What was it like to see your play? Your play was the Invitation.
Yeah. It was fun. You know, it brought it off the page. It got it out of my head. And so, and of course, Franci did a wonderful job. Thank you, Franci. It was very gratifying is what it was.
And okay, so Pam, tell us very quickly, what was the beginning? Like, how did you explain what you brought and where it went?
It came out of the raw material of a memoir. My best friend throughout my life passed away during COVID, and coming back through those years, thinking about how we met and what that dynamic was. It was always a complicated relationship, as most relationships are. And, you know, thinking back to what triggered that relationship. And, you know, yeah, I kind of just pulled those threads and got back to that encounter, to that invitation. And yeah.
It started as memoir and it became a monologue,
Yeah.
the invitation. And I know you worked really hard on this with a number of revisions. And Franci, any thoughts from like as an actor? So we're always thinking in theater, this is collaboration. Pam has a script and now is going to need an actor to perform it, to bring it to life on stage. Any thoughts, Franci, from the role?
It was really a delight to perform this. I think what shines through and what's really hard when we take this from from memoir to monologue is still being able to have this story be beyond what you experienced yourself, and that it can be done in the stage, and that it has a 3D life. It's not just a story in sort of spoken word. And so I think what I found as the young actor was this sort of ability to jump into it because the character was so fully developed in a action-based manner, that she wasn't just talking to the audience.
Excellent. Yeah, the action based. This is a very active monologue. And as we worked on it in the play lab, the question was like, how can this be done in a realistic way? And so thank you so much, Franci. I'm having trouble, Franci. Remind me how I turned on my video last time, because
You're on video. You're on video now.
am I on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just hiding my self view. Okay, good. I can't see me, but I can see everybody else. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks so much for Pam and for Franci. Let's talk to Autumn Stevens, who's been in the Play Lab before as well. Unstable Connection, performed by Elly Berke. Autumn, what was that like?
Oh, well, it was really interesting because it was so when I write either dialogue or when I write monologue, I sort of mutter the words I'm writing to myself. So it's like very slow. There's a lot of spaces between words. So it wasn't exactly that I hadn't heard it spoken before. I heard it spoken, but this was so fresh and multi-dimensional and very different than I imagined it when I was imagining it in my mind. But I think that's just part of the magic, that something you didn't even conceive of can occur. So yeah, that was what my experience was like. Also, my 27-year-old son was sitting beside me, so I was like biting my fingernails to see how he reacted.
Okay, tell us, how did he react?
He had to go get a snack.
Oh, okay. Let's hope he liked it. Elly, you are welcome. It's so great to have you. Do you want to unmute and just tell us what it was like to perform Autumn's monologue?
Sure. Yeah, it was really fun to I think to find the shifts between a person who uses humor and sarcasm to kind of maybe mask some deeper emotions and some anger and some longing. And I liked how it kind of played between those two. And I loved the whole concept of kind of doing it on Zoom, and she's on Zoom, and reaching out to this other world. And that's kind of what we're doing when we're trying to like perform through our computer screens as well. So I thought it worked really well for this format, and was just really funny too.
Agreed. And you did a great job with it, Elly. Thank you so much. Let us now, great job, Autumn. So now let's talk to, if we could, Jeanne Vargas, If Only, and then Phyllis Rittner performed that. Jeanne, I know you went through a lot of revision with this, and you've been in this workshop before, and I believe this was a piece of your memoir.
This, the material.
Oops. Jeanne, I'm sorry, but I think you have more than one device opened, so we're getting a bad echo.
I'm going to take care of the echo, I think.
Okay. We can sort of vaguely hear you.
Now you should be able to hear me fine.
Okay, we got you.
All right. Yes, this material came from a memoir. And while writing a monologue for this theater, this kind of theater performance, gives
You
a
know what, Jeanne?
writer-
I'm so sorry, Jeanne. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's still not quite working. While you fix that, so something else has to be turned off. Let me check in with Phyllis. Phyllis, would
Yeah,
you
so
unmute?
Jeanne has two open windows. That's probably what's going on. So if she takes away one window, she should be okay.
Okay, did we lose her? Okay, she'll be back. But Phyllis, would you go ahead and talk about, whoops, she's back. She back? Is that Eugene?
Well, I thought so. It looks like I lost.
Yep, you are. You're here. You're here. Can you say something, Jeanne?
Yeah, I'm not on the screen.
We see you. We actually see the top of your head and someone sitting beside you.
It kicked me off. Now it's gonna do me something else.
Okay, I'm going to apologize and just talk to Phyllis for a second. Phyllis, what was it like to get, I think you were able to work this in rehearsal once and then you performed it so wonderfully. Tell us what it was like for you to take this script and bring it to life.
Well, thank you. I think it's very interesting after 30 years to confront an ex-husband on Zoom and try to maintain one's composure, going through the feelings of old attraction and engagement, as well as looking back at all of the things that this woman went through in her journey to kind of find herself. So I really appreciated the whole process of her journey and how she could compose herself to stay in the moment and stay with her own sense of agency through it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, brilliantly done, Phyllis. Thank you so much. And Jeanne, thank you so much. Can you try speaking for a second, Jeanne?
Are you able to hear me now?
We are. You're a little low, but go ahead and say one thing, and we'd love to hear from you.
I enjoyed the participation, and I think this is another way that a writer can enjoy seeing their work out there in the public, and it's been an enjoyable experience. It's a give and take process.
A give and take process, no kidding. You worked really hard on this manuscript as usual, and it was worth it. It really came together tonight. So thank you so much, Jeanne.
Thank you.
Okay, now I want to hear, if we could, from Shelly Grabel. Shelly, Morgan Turns 30 was your play, and it was performed by Elly Berke. We'd love to hear from you what it was like to see Elly do this.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. One sec. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay. I found that the whole process took a two-dimensional piece from my memoir and turned it into a three-dimensional piece and brought this character to life. So I started out in a memoir describing her. And then when I went through this, I was able to be her and to become her. And then to watch someone else become her was so enlightening for me in terms of the character and the story, and I could hear the whole story. So thank you. I mean, it was really beautifully done.
Shelly, you worked so hard on this script, and you took it from this piece from, this is about someone you knew, and you wrote about her in your memoir, and then you kind of had this act hunger to bring her to life on the stage, but you actually started your monologue from your point of view, and then you were able to discover her through your rewrites and your process with us to discover her as a character. And then she just really burst into life. And so really amazing. I know you worked so hard on this, and I know you were so excited about the whole process that you were going through. Elly, what would you love to say about presenting this character for Shelly?
First of all, I loved the piece, Shelly, and it came very naturally to me, this character, because I definitely, when I was little, I remember thinking that you turn 25 and then you stop growing up, and I couldn't really account for it. I knew that there were older people in the world, but I really had the sense that I couldn't even imagine past that. And so I thought it just was really relatable to me. And I think, you reference, you give a sense of the time period of when this person's born, but I think it's really universal. And then I also was, when I was in my 20s and turned 30, I kind of was living with friends, and I had this little family. It was like we made our own family and we took care of each other. So I also really related to that. So yeah, I just think you captured a lot of universal things from being a woman at that age.
Elly, wonderful. I just want to also mention for our audience to know how talented all of you really are, because we never rehearsed this, okay? And you weren't off book. So your performance, you were reading from a script, and you didn't rehearse. We did not rehearse this together, and you did not come to the play lab, and you made this character come alive and seamlessly. So thank you so much. It was really wonderful. Okay, now let us go on to Claire McCabe. You wrote Transformation at Taylor's Creek, and it was performed by Franci DuMar. And I would love to hear, Claire, this is your second time in the Play Lab too. And I'd just love to hear from you about your process, and maybe talk a little bit about where this began and what was that process like for you?
Well, I'd first like to thank Franci, because it never gets old watching your words come to life and be embodied by an actor. And thank you so much, Franci, and the other actors as well. You guys are just amazing. Thank you for coming to our classes and doing those reads as well. So my process, well, the last time I was a total newbie, I wrote about a young character, and I liked it. And I really struggled at that point with moving from memoir into a created character. But this time, having done that, I was able to do that much more fluidly. I took a place that I knew. I really started with a place that I knew as a child. And then the story just kind of came about. And I was very conscious of the fact that this was going to be performed. So I wanted to put in a lot of physical action. But what Franci did with it was way beyond my wildest expectations. It was just wonderful crawling around like that. It's a real thrill. And I encourage anyone who's watching, and if they're thinking, maybe I should try this, like you should definitely try it.
Thank you. Thanks, Claire. Franci, would you say a few words about it? I mean, you and I read this together for the first time, at about 5:30 or something. I don't know, crazy. And so I want you to have a sense of what these actors are able to do with their spontaneity and their training and their skills it's a collaboration, because the script unlocks something for them that they don't even know they want to do, right? And so I just love to see the sparks flying, as I think they've done with the actors and the writers here tonight, with so much. But I'd have to tell you, these writers work so hard to get these scripts where they were, and then the actors can really set off some sparks. Franci, what about your process doing this?
Yeah, it was so delightful tonight getting to play three young actors in all of the pieces. So I was delighted to do that. I think what I loved, Claire, as you said, that you added more physicality. I know after the first edit, there wasn't much editing that needed to be done, but I was there for sort of the first edit, and there was less physicality. And I said, even go deeper, because if this is performed on a stage, I could imagine this actor, either a kid or an adult playing a child, like finding different spots on the stage to show the progress of going through this tunnel. And I think what I loved about this character was, again, away from it being connected to a memoir, like this girl could be really wild. She could be a little bit more tame and curious. I played her in my mind as like a little bit more wild. Free spirit is not really like, she's maybe just really up to do anything. But I think it leaves also room for the actor to interpret sort of how this young person is going to essentially go through this really dangerous tunnel to this open water source and bring along this really random new friend that just moved to town without scaring her too much. But I loved it.
Yeah. So thank you, Franci. So much charm in the script, Claire, and imagination and mischief in a delightful way. We get to see. So this is a really great script for young actors as well as older actors, but young actors are craving scripts like this where they can really sort of show what they got. And this is a great example of how this could work for young actors. Okay, so mapping home. Sharon B., you worked with Shannon Kenny on this script. And yes, again, you went through a lot of revision, a lot of process. So tell us about that, Sharon. What did you think about working with Sharon and about this script?
Well, first off, I want to thank Shannon for, I call it an invocation when she read Vocation.
Yes.
It was a lovely way to start this type of creativity. And the monologue itself started with a prompt, and Shannon just really brought that character up another level. And I really appreciated the sense of freedom that I feel Shannon had with that character, and the gravitas that I wanted that character to have. And Shannon brought that, and I'm just really grateful. So it's wonderful. Thank you.
Sharon, I'm glad you mentioned Shannon's beautiful vocation at the very beginning. I also want to mention, because I want to say to the audience, to you who are here in these seats tonight, that I want you to understand how important it is that you were here, because again, the actors and the writers really, it goes so far from just the play lab to that showcase, what everybody brings it up a level. And it's amazing. And that's because you are here in your seats. So I want you to understand how important it is to be an audience member, how much magic you create. You are one of the most important collaborators. So thank you for being here. Shannon, what was it like for you? First of all, bless you. Okay. You were in a power outage at 6:30 tonight. Yeah. I don't know how you did it. We rehearsed with you by candlelight. And I said, okay, if Shannon plays by candlelight, I don't care. I mean, your voice as well as your presence is phenomenal. So I'm so glad. But I don't know how you did it. How'd you keep it together and then also perform so beautifully for Sharon?
I suppose all the other actors would know that, keeping it together is just what you do. You just, I teach drama to young children, and our phrase for the year is, it's all science, baby. Things need to make sense. And so we work with what we've got, and we cook it up and we present it. So yes, power outages, great. We stick a candle on, great. The cell phone towers are still working, so that means I've got a connection and I can connect with all of you amazing people on the other side of the ocean. For me, I think what was really amazing about the monologue and performing was there's an inherent tension in the script. I mean, it's not just the dissolution of a relationship. I mean, this is the end. There's no turning back. And this is the character's sort of final, it's their last word to the errant former partner. And I think what I enjoyed in just presenting this evening was the sense of, gosh, but there's so much more. There's so much more I can do with this. It's not, this isn't where this piece ends or where the performance ends. And so just that room as a performer to be a creator, co-creator with a writer, is a wonderful privilege, actually. And I love the Play Lab. I love the collaboration sitting in on the development of people's pieces. It's just quite phenomenal, actually.
Thank you, Shannon. So grateful to have you in the Play Lab. And again, for your beautiful piece that I heard you read in an open mic and said, oh my God, she's got to open the show with us with that one. So thank you. Okay, so I want to talk about, again, our final play. Well, I just wanted to say, Sharon, thank you for bringing us to a new beginning. That's wonderful. You brought all of us to the point of new beginning, as Shannon mentioned. Okay, so Laura Secord, I Won't Kill Your Spirit, 3 soliloquies. First time we've actually done this. It was a really fabulous forum to introduce to everybody, and so grateful to the actors for jumping in on that. So let's hear from you, Laura. What has your process been like to work on your play and then to see Elly and Phyllis and Franci bring it to life?
Thank you. This has been wonderful. I want to thank the actresses first, because that was amazing. But I followed a prompt to find a picture on your phone. And I had a picture of my mother on my phone that I had never seen before. I'd seen it when it got on my phone, but I had never seen it before. And it was one of the first times I saw my mother looking like my daughter. And so I was very excited by that. And I followed it. I didn't know where I was going. I am just beginning to work on a memoir, and I'm a poet. And I really wanted to try another form to see if I could tell a story in a better and different way. And I certainly did. It was very hard. I had to do a lot of stopping, having exposition. And then I was encouraged to have 3 voices, but I could never figure out how to do it until Kelly had this brilliant idea of the 3 soliloquies. And you got the actors. I was so moved. I almost cried. You guys did such a fabulous job bringing the energy and the spirit of all 3 of those people together. It just was tremendously touching to me. And I have tried I never thought I was even going to try to tell this story again. I tried it in poetry and it didn't work. And then in this moment, it worked. Yeah. Hallelujah. So the whole experience to me has been, trying to put something into a new container can take you to the emotion that you could not create in a different way, as this was able to do with this process. And then seeing it performed. Franci, my goodness, you were just like, oh, that spirit. And the pain of the mother that Phyllis showed, and the conflict that Elly showed within the daughter of being that middle mother with all these generations messing people up. It was just lovely, wonderful, moving. It was great. Thank you so much. That was hard work for 3 people on Zoom to do such a fabulous job too. So I thank you for that. And I loved it, Franci, when you were
putting your hair in the pigtails near the end, even though you weren't even up there speaking. I could see you doing it. It was just like so alive. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I know you worked really hard, and you speak for everybody in the Play Lab because I challenged you all, and you rose to the occasion. And it is challenging, but everybody did it so beautifully. You did it. That theatricality, of that every actor brought to this, that you put the opportunities in the writing for that to be there. Okay, Franci, Elly, and Phyllis, let's hear from you very briefly. And then I've got one question from the audience, which we're going to cover, and then we're going to close. But Phyllis or Elly or Franci, what was it like to do the 3 soliloquies, to do your part in it? Phyllis, you want to go? Okay, Franci, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was such a joy. I went through a period when I was a really young child where I couldn't stop watching the Pippi Longstocking movie. So I just was very inspired by the 1980s or 1990s, I can't remember when it was made, Pippi Longstocking movie where she's just like totally wild. So I loved that visual. And I was like struggling in the piece to not pay so much attention to the beautiful writing, but also just the way that Elly and Phyllis were just going back and forth. It was very touching for me to hear those 2 other pieces as just a person and a witness. And so that was really beautiful to hear those other layers of the piece.
Yeah, great comment. Phyllis?
Yes, it was a lovely way to hear the different voices. Especially the mother. I've really felt the anguish and the conflict of wanting to please and growing up needing to please your parents and making the same unfortunate mistakes and knowing and realizing that you've made the mistakes and how to live with those mistakes. So I thought it was brilliant, the way it was done. It was not easy to go fast like that, but I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I want to do it again.
Good. I think we are going to use this form again. I think it's these interrupting monologues. We're going to use it again. Elly, what do you want to share?
It felt the 3 soliloquies knit together felt very cinematic to me, and I wondered if that had occurred to you, Laura, or if you had ever thought of making it into a film, because it kind of had these natural edits where they might not be in the same room, but they're all kind of like talking or being interviewed by someone at different times, and their stories all line up. And I think that it was very thought-provoking. It made me think about how we, if we raise a child, we really only have like our childhood as like a point of reference, but the child is someone different. Doesn't mean the same rules apply that you experienced as a child. So I just thought that was interesting.
That's great, Elly. Yeah, that multi-generational component, that idea of the mother and the grandmother and the granddaughter in the same room, in a sense. Wonderful work, Laura, Secord, and everybody who acted in it. Andy Penners put a question, and I want to close with this. For each writer, what do you plan? And I don't think we will be able to get to every writer here, but what do you plan to do now with those monologue scripts? And how did the monologue writing inform your actual memoir revision process, if at all? So let me just answer first, what do you plan to do now? I'm going to meet with all of the with all of the writers sometime in the next week or so, and I'm going to give them resources and point them in directions for other stage opportunities for them to be pursuing, other places where they can submit to get full productions of these monologues. Of course, they can develop them, but maybe 1 or 2 of you would talk about, so Elly and Franci and the other working actors, Andy, these are in some ways The shortest ones are really great for auditions. You might find a way to use one in an audition. You might even have it be part of your online clips to show your acting chops. You might use it that way. Some of these might be published in an anthology of women's monologues or anthology of stage monologues. They also might be in elementary schools. They might be published by a dramatic publisher of youth plays that then they could be licensed by schools. The scripts would be licensed to be produced and used in young competitions, young theater competitions for young people. So there are a lot of things. They might be part of a play festival that your community theater, your local theater, or even in New York City, they could be part of a play festival anywhere that accepts monologues. So because they're so producible, one actor, really simple set. Okay, so they're very easy to produce. So those are some of the ideas about that. But let me ask the other question, because I would love to hear from those of you who might touch on this question. How did the monologue writing inform your actual memoir or revision process, if at all? So some of you are working on memoir. Could you comment on that, if you would? Yeah, Shelly.
I think that, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I think that what it is doing for me is taking me out of the memoir for a moment and being in that character has made the other characters that I know, I'm thinking, oh, well, I can do the same thing to them to kind of figure out what the three-dimensional version of that is instead of just my flat version of them. And then, because I am a poet and I've had these wild experiences, and I think that it also lends itself to kind of almost novel more than memoir. So the characters, to me, the more I see them, the more I think fiction, and the more I think that, you know, it's a good jumping off point. But I think it would be a whole lot of fun to take this to like the next level.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shelly. Is there one more writer maybe who wants to respond to that? Pam, yeah. Oh, Pam, unmute.
The thing that really helped me with this is, which is difficult, is to be able to break myself free of the memoir part that I am so attached to.
Yeah.
Because the whole process of revision was distillation, trimming it down, cutting out all those other details that to me it's like, well, this is really important, but it's not, you know, and this really, we've come to see it in the monologues. You know, it distills the essence of what that story is. So that would certainly inform my writing going forward. But it also gave me all sorts of inspirations for other monologues too, you know. So yeah, lots of it.
Thank you so much, Pam. So I want to wrap up by thanking everyone. I want to mention that I'll be starting a new 6-week Play Lab. As much as I don't like to stop working with anybody here tonight, there is going to be a new 6-week Play Lab. It's going to be on Wednesday nights, the webinar for 5 weeks, and then the showcase. It's starting on March 13th. The next showcase that I'll be producing will be hosted by the Journal of Expressive Writing. And that webinar or that online showcase will be on Sunday night, May 5th. And I'm also just wanting to mention, I teach this in person at the annual International Women's Writing Guild conference. That's going to take place in early August at Roger Williams College in Rhode Island. So if you want to join me in person, it's the one time of year that I actually teach this in person, and it's also a wonderful experience as well. So I will be, please email me at DuMar kellydumar@gmail.com, kellydumar@gmail.com, and I'm happy to send you the information about the next Play Lab. And oh my goodness, this has been really wonderful. I thank my audience. I thank Franci, Phyllis, Shannon, Elly for bringing these scripts to life, and Laura, Claire, Jeanne, Pam, Shelly, Autumn, Sharon. It's just been an honor to work with you, and I look forward to possibly working with you all again. Good night, everybody. Thank you.